Hey, Masters!
Hey, big guy. What's up?
Don't big guy me! What's this about?
Yeah, isn't it great? The cover of Raw magazine.
Yeah, real great. Why am I not even mentioned in it?
You're not? Seriously? I could have sworn you were. Nope. Not there. Oh, not there either. Look, don't get all worked up about it. We've got to focus on our matches tonight against the tag team champs. I've got Snitsky, and you've got Kane, remember?
I guess I better go and get ready for that.
Good luck out there, big guy.
Thanks, you too.
I don't need luck. Snitsky's as good as beat. Just watch and learn.
Boy, you talk about a superstar who's got his work cut out for him. He's about to face the nearly 7-foot, 300-pound monster, Kane.
Yeah, and unlike his upcoming match against him at Unforgiven, he doesn't have the masterpiece backing him up here tonight.
It sounds like you've taken a long, tall drink of Master's Kool-Aid, King. To hear the masterpiece talk, you'd think he didn't even have a tag team partner. That's not a recipe for a healthy partnership, if you ask me. It's no mystery how Kane got to be one half of the tag team champions. The team of Kane and Snitsky must be one of the largest and most aggressive championship teams in WWE history.
Yeah, and don't forget ugliest. It's really saying something when Kane is the good-looking half of the team.
You're a braver man than I am to say something like that on the air, King. I just hope to goodness Kane didn't hear you, or I might have to finish the rest of this broadcast by myself. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Raw, live tonight from Las Vegas, Nevada. Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler.
I'll tell you, JR, if I were a gambling man, I'd bet everything I owned that this was going to be one of the best Raws ever.
I wouldn't bet against it, King. I know what's on the schedule, and let me just say that these fans have hit the jackpot tonight.
Nice try, Skinny.
Well, I think he's going to have to hit the gym some more before he pulls that off. He's all fired up now, King, and I'd hate to be on the receiving end.
I don't think his opponent's got a hope of hurting him now. These superstars are putting on a great match so far, JR. Oh, come on. What are you thinking?
That's what happens when your heart is bigger than your muscle. And it's been reversed.
Looks like they've slowed the match down a little. And I think that's some good strategy right there.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well acquainted with the old expression, fools rush in.
Is that why you always seem to be in such a hurry, JR?
I think I've eaten a little too much good Oklahoma barbecue in my day, King.
He's got his opponent locked into submission, JR. This could be it.
It could indeed. He might force his opponent to tap out right here.
I've got to say, JR, I'm really impressed by what we've seen here tonight.
How could you not be, King? These are some of the finest athletes in all of sports entertainment.
I know.
The submission has been expertly applied, and now it's just a matter of time.
That's right, JR. You've either got to break the hold or get broken by it.
These superstars are going to put each other through wrestling hell tonight.
They've already got a pretty good start on that, JR.
They have indeed, King. I don't think there's an ounce of quit between them.
Yeah, and that's where things get dangerous. If you're too proud to admit that it's not your night, you might wind up risking your career for a single match.
But at the same time, King, no one makes it up the ladder without pushing themselves to the very limit. It's a very fine line to walk.
Listen to the crowd, JR. He turned the tables on his opponent with that one.
The referee is down, and now there's no one to maintain order in this match.
Where do they find these referees, JR? They seem to be awfully fragile.
He's got that submission hold locked in.
He sure does, JR. He might make his opponent tap out right here. This match has the potential to be an instant classic, and I think these fans are too stupid to realize it.
How can you say that, King? How can you insult the intelligence of these WWE fans?
Well, I heard that we gave them an IQ test, and the results came back negative.
Folks, I've got to apologize for the King here tonight. He must have gotten up on the wrong side of somebody else's bed this morning.
He's really cranking up the pressure on that hold, JR.
He sure is. There's no doubt he's looking for the submission is locked in. This could be huge.
Oh my gosh, JR. You can't go long without tapping out to this.
Boy, what?
I don't care how tough you are, JR. No one can take this kind of pain for long.
You're absolutely right, King. We've seen many superstars tap out to this very hold.
I'll admit it, it's a little scary to watch up close, but I love watching Kane go to work. He's practically unstoppable.
He's certainly not stopped by confidence, that's for sure. Kane will crush anyone and anything that stands between him and his objective.
You say that like it's a bad thing, JR. I think
He's taken every advantage in this matchup, and it looks like he plans on taking a few more.
if he's not the dirtiest player in the game, JR, he's a shoo-in for second place. All's fair in love and war, JR. And I love it when this guy goes to war.
Whoever said that cheaters never prosper certainly never saw this man in action. The very sight of Kane makes my blood... No! How can the referee allow something like that?
Come on, JR. You know that the referee's health plan doesn't include vision. Well, from the looks of things, it's not hard to tell how this...
Oh my, he's bleeding! That's an unfortunate side effect of this very physical competition.
An unfortunate side effect? JR, this is what it's all about. Beating your opponent to a pulp.
I'd like to think there's a little bit more to it than that, King. These are professional athletes. What a reversal.
You gotta stop this guy before he really gets going.
I don't think that's going to happen, King. Stop now.
Now the fans start to cheer for him. Now that he's in the driver's seat.
Come on, King. He's had the crowd behind him. Can his opponent kick out of this pinning predicament?
Yeah, Sunday's going to be a big day. Tag team title gold. Seems like it's taken forever to get here. I mean, if there were two of me, we'd be champions by now. But I don't think you two could handle two masterpieces, could ya? But I bet you wouldn't have any trouble handling two of this guy, would ya? Hey, calm down. You've got to get your head in the game. We've got a non-title match against Kane and Snitsky tonight. If we win, we go on to Unforgiven this Sunday to face them for the tag team titles. Now I know I've carried you this far, but Snitsky and Kane are two of the biggest, toughest guys on the Raw roster. So I'm gonna need you to pull your weight tonight, okay? Come on, girls. It's showtime.
Well, here he is, the one-man tag team, Chris Masters.
Oh, come on now, JR. Don't start in on the masterpiece again. You're looking at a tag team legend in his own time.
A legend in his own mind is more like it. I thought I'd seen some narcissistic individuals in this business, but Masters takes the cake. But nonetheless, all he and his partner have to do is win this #1 contender match tonight, and they'll get their title match at Unforgiven. I'm a little mystified as to how this man is able to put up with Masters' act week in and week out. But I guess that's the price he's willing to pay for an opportunity to win the tag team titles.
You know, JR, I almost never say this, but you're right. All he's got to do is follow the Masterpiece's lead, and he's coming home from Unforgiven with a tag team title.
Oh, stop. It's clear to me that he's been doing more than following Masters' lead, whether the so-called Masterpiece wants to give him credit or not.
Weighing 326 pounds,
Ladies and gentlemen, Raw is live tonight from St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm Jim Ross, here with Jerry the King Lawler.
These Minnesota fans have been waiting a long time to see the Raw superstars in action, and I know they're not going to be disappointed.
They certainly won't, King. The Twin Cities are never going to forget the day Raw came to town. He countered that and made it look easy.
What does he think he's doing? He's just showing off for the crowd now.
He's wrestling the match his way, and I think it's going to pay off, mark my words.
Snitsky's not the most popular guy on the roster, but you've got to admit that watching him...
The submission is locked in. This could be huge.
Oh my gosh, JR! He's really cranking up the pressure on that hole, JR!
He sure is. There's no doubt he's looking for the submission right here.
He reversed it! All's fair in love and war, JR. And I love it when this guy goes...
He's got his opponent locked in a submission hold.
We can see a tap out right here, JR.
And there's the submission. There might not be any way out of it.
There better be. But we're going to see a tap out right here. We saw that one coming. I feel like we shouldn't even be talking during this match, JR. We should just silently admire the masterpiece, like we were looking at a sculptor in a museum or something.
If you want to zip your lip for a few minutes, King, I won't complain. And there's the tag. There's the tag. That's the way to do it.
I'll admit it, it's a little scary to watch up close, but I love watching Kane go to work. He's practically unstoppable.
He's certainly not stopped by conscience, that's for sure.
Flat on your back with your shoulders on the mat is no place to be.
A count of two, and the referee's hand was coming down for the 3. I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted just watching these superstars compete.
I know what you mean, JR. I don't think most people appreciate what incredible athletes these WWE superstars really are.
You've got to have some excellent conditioning to be able to...
There's the pin! That was like 2 7/8, JR. I can't believe he countered that one.
He's a slippery devil. A textbook reversal there.
This has gone beyond just being a match, JR. I think these superstars genuinely hate each other. Wow, there's a hole you don't want to find yourself in, JR.
You sure don't, King. We've seen many a superstar tap out to this one. I think this crowd has decided to exercise the right of free speech.
God bless the First Amendment, JR. So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything could happen here in the WWE.
You've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself. If it's all the same to you, King. What a disgusting, despicable human being is Stitch. I don't even know if you could call him a human being. He seems more like a monster to me.
Why do you do that, JR? Every time you don't like someone,
He's got that submission hold locked in.
he sure does, JR. He might make his opponent tap out right here.
And here comes the close shot to the hold.
It looks like he's helping his opponent do a little family planning here, JR.
Well, that's one way to do it, King. I don't think we're going to be seeing any youngins in this superstar's immediate future. His opponent is in the turnbuckle, and the close fist punches come raining down.
And there's nowhere you can go from there, JR. You just got to ride it. Here's the cover, JR.
He was a split second away from a 3 count.
I'd ask you who you want to win this.
Oh boy, the adrenaline is pumping. I think this could be the beginning of the end.
No, it can't end like this. Come on, do something quick. Climbing up the turnbuckle isn't bad. It's all the ways you could come down that hurt.
He's all fired up now, King, and I'd hate to be on...
You're not going to win a match by insulting your opponent.
No, but having the crowd behind you can certainly get the adrenaline pumping.
Look at this, JR. Can you imagine Smackdown putting on a match half as good as this?
No disrespect intended for our Smackdown colleagues, but no, I can't, King. I truly believe Raw is the dominant brand in sports entertainment.
And you hit the nail right on the head there, JR. The dominant brand. Not the slightly better brand or the sort of superior brand.
Absolutely not. I'm a Raw man. And I have to believe we're head and shoulders better than the competition.
You won't get any argument from me, JR. Smackdown's the minor leagues as far as I'm concerned. I think I know who's going to win this one, JR.
Oh, really?
Oh, no! This is terrible! You can't let your opponent build this kind of momentum!
Well, all I can say is someone's been eating their vitamins and saying their prayers.
Looks like they...
What a submission hold! Could this be a tap out?
It isn't. The hold can't be broken. You can't take this kind of pain for long.
This capacity crowd is solidly behind.
So long, ref. Sweet dreams.
It's going to be a while before the referee gets up from that. The referee is down, and now there's no one to maintain order in this match.
Where do they find these referees, JR? They seem to be awfully fragile. It's like he read his opponent's mind. Uh-oh. Come on. You gotta stop this guy before he really gets going.
I don't think that's going to happen, King. He's built up too much momentum to be stopped now. And here's the pin. There's the kick out. I thought that was it for sure.
I gotta say, JR, I'm really impressed by what we've seen here tonight.
How could you not be, King? These are some of the finest athletes.
Yes, that was an incredible move. What strategy?
Strategy, my Oklahoma ass. That's cheating, plain and simple. Look at him feeding off the energy from this capacity crowd. He's unstoppable.
You can't ever count. Oh, man. I've been in this hole before, JR. This brings back some...
Here are your winners.
I just saw your match, and I'm so excited. You might not know it, but I have to admit something kinda personal. I'm so jealous of you. I mean, getting to watch the masterpiece up close in action like that, I can't wait for all of us to celebrate his tag team title victory at Unforgiven. That party is going to last all night long. I just wanted to clarify the last message. When I said I can't wait for all of us to celebrate after Unforgiven, I meant me and Chris and Tori. Not that you're not a great guy and all, but, well, let's face it, you're no Chris Masters.
All right, big guy. Girls, cut that out. There's plenty of time for that after the match. Sorry about that. Anyways, this is it. Unforgiven, the tag team titles are on the line. Now it's time to bring them home where they belong, around the waist of the masterpiece. I know this is a high-pressure situation for you, but just relax. Remember who you're teaming up with. I've gotten us this far, so just follow my lead. And this will be a piece of cake.
And the opponent, from Nesquehoning, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 300 pounds, Snitsky. Weighing 326 pounds, Kane.
Doesn't have the strength to lift him.
He must be crazy thinking he can pick him up like that. He turned the tables on his opponent with that one.
He's not going to get caught with that one. I don't even know if you can use the word monster to describe Kane anymore. He's become so twisted and so evil that it almost sounds like a compliment.
Kane's never going to be up for the Humanitarian of the Year award, JR. But I think that's exactly what makes him such a great superstar. That submission is locked in, JR, and this is a tough hold to break.
It sure is, King. And even if you break the hold, it takes its toll on you.
It's like he read his opponent's mind. Wow! Listen to these fans, JR.
You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all the people some of the time, but there's no fooling the WWE fans at all.
Uh-oh. Talk about a hole you don't want to find yourself in.
No kidding. This will rearrange your anatomy. What a...
Uh-oh. I think we know where he's going with this, JR.
What a sickening choke slam. Oh,
This is terrible. You can't let your opponent build this kind of momentum.
Well, all I can say is he went straight for the pin. No flies on him.
That was so close to 3, he could taste it. So, JR, are you enjoying the match so far?
Yes, I am. I think these superstars are putting on one hell of an exhibition here tonight.
What's your favorite part of it so far?
I don't think it's happened yet. My favorite part of the match will be when you quit yapping and let me enjoy it.
Now, JR.
Sounds like this crowd's got something on their minds, King.
Who cares about them, JR? Look what's going on in the ring.
Boy, when you look at these superstars, it really drives home the fact that Raw is the dominant brand of sports entertainment.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, JR. There's not a superstar on the Smackdown roster who could hold a candle to Raw's finest.
I wouldn't go...
Wow, what a shot! He's been busted wide open. That's gonna need stitches for sure.
Stitches, hell, that might mean the end of this. He's got some evil intentions here.
Oh, man, 10 feet in the air and all the way down again.
Look at this. Look at this. You talk about a house of fire, you're seeing it right here.
Yeah? Well, somebody better put out that fire. Oh, this one's... Oh, man. I've been in this hole before, JR. This brings back some bad memories.
I can understand why, King. I can't even imagine the pain being inflicted here. Well, you can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy and saying what's on their mind.
You sure can't, JR. And I don't think we'd have it any other way.
What a disgusting, despicable human being is Snitsky. I don't even know if you would call him a human being. He seems more like a monster to me.
Why do you do that, JR? Every time you don't like someone, you call him a monster. Just because Snitsky's a big, strong guy doesn't mean you have to call him names.
I call him a...
There's the tag, JR! You talk about ruthless aggression. Look at the way these superstars have been going after each other.
They're not playing with kid blood. That's for sure.
We knew we were going to see a heck of a match, but this might turn out to be... No. Go ahead and say it, JR.
All right, I will.
What? Is he nuts? He doesn't really think he's going to lift him, does he?
Well, if he did, I don't think he does anymore.
Oh, sure. Now the fans start to cheer for him. Now that he's in the driver's seat.
Come on, King. He's had the crowd behind him.
I think these superstars are getting some feedback from the crowd, JR.
Nothing wrong with that, King. That's what we like to hear.
I think someone's going for a high-risk move, JR.
He's all fired up now, King, and I'd hate to be on the receiving end.
I don't think his opponent's got a hope of hurting him now.
Oh, boy, the adrenaline is pumping. I think this could be the beginning of the end.
No, it can't end like this. Come on, do something, quick. I feel like we shouldn't even be talking during this match, JR. We should just silently admire the masterpiece.
There's the tag. That's some good teamwork.
What does he think he's doing? He's just showing off for the crowd now.
He's wrestling the match his way, and I think it's going to pay off, mark my words. They made the tag.
You know, JR, when I saw this match on paper, I wasn't too sure about it. But it's turned out a lot better than I thought it would.
I'm not at all surprised, King. I knew this was going to be a terrific matchup.
Oh, come on, JR. You're just talking through your hat. Speaking of hats, when are you going to get rid of that silly thing anyway?
Right about the time you stop wearing that crown out, sir.
There's the reversal.
Excellent counter. What ring presence. This capacity crowd is solidly behind their superstar. Look at this.
Wow. Could you be any more biased, JR? How about some fair and balanced commentary? Uh-oh. Come on. You got to stop this guy before he really gets going.
I don't think that's going to happen, King. He's built up too much momentum to be stopped now.
Oh, no. I don't like the looks of this.
He's got the fans behind him, King, and his opponent had better watch out. Look at him feeding off the energy from this capacity crowd. He's
really cranking up the pressure on that whole
sure is. There's no doubt he's looking for the submission right here.
I'll admit it, it's a little scary to watch up close, but I love watching Kane go to work. He's practically unstoppable.
He's certainly not stopped by conscience, that's for sure. Kane will crush anyone and anything that stands between him and his objective.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
The submission is locked in. This could be huge.
Oh my gosh, JR! You can't go on without tapping out to this. I know Snitsky's not the most popular guy on the roster, but you've got to admit that watching a one-man wrecking crew in action...
Would you look at that? A blatantly illegal maneuver. That should be a disqualification.
You might be right, JR, but I don't hear the ring bell. This match is still going.
The very sight of Kane makes my blood run cold. What an inhuman monster he is.
You say monster like it's a bad thing, JR. But everyone loves a monster, whether they want to admit it or not. Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman never go out of style.
Well, there's a big difference between seeing a monster in a movie and knowing that a real-life monster like Kane is walking the earth. This is a classic matchup, King. I'm so glad the WWE fans are getting the chance to see it.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I'm getting to see it too, JR. I just wish they'd pick up the pace a little.
Oh, no. This is classic old-school wrestling at its finest. You, of all people, should be able to appreciate that, King.
Wait a minute, JR. You're not trying to say that I'm old, are you?
Of course not, King. Although there was that rumor going around about your social security number was 1.
Watch out! He reversed it! I don't care how tough you are, JR. No one can take this kind of pain for long.
You're absolutely right, King. We've seen many superstars tap out to this.
I don't think this superstar's going to be having any kids in the immediate future, JR.
I wouldn't think so, King. Not without a... And there's the tag. Oh, no! The referee's been knocked out! This can't be good!
Are you kidding? Now anything goes! It doesn't get any better than that, JR. This has gone beyond just being a match, JR. I think these superstars genuinely hate each other.
There's no love lost between these competitors.
Whoops! There goes the referee!
Oh, man! And now there's no one to keep order in this matchup!
I've been looking forward to this match all night, JR. I can't believe it's finally... Wow! That might not have been strictly on the up and up, but it's going to be a huge advantage for him.
He's just lucky the referee didn't catch him, or he'd be disqualified for sure. I tell you, King, sometimes...
He's a 3 count away from a pinfall!
Oh, great.
So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, can his opponent kick out of this pinning predicament? I think this crowd has decided to exercise the right of free speech.
God bless the First Amendment, JR. After some of the things we've seen in this ring, JR, I think we'd better remind the folks at home not to try this stuff themselves.
That's for damn sure, King. The WWE superstars are trained professionals.
And even they don't walk away from every match in the best shape.
They sure don't. We've seen more than one superstar taken out here on a stretcher. And now a pin. This could be it. They did it! We've got new tag team champions!
What do you mean they did it? The Masterpiece did it! And he was nice enough to bring his partner along for the ride.
King, there's not a man in the world who could beat King and Snitsky single-handed. Masters had a lot of help, whether he wants to admit it or not. This is a great victory for both of those superstars, and an unforgiven they surely won't ever.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
You wanted to see me, Shane?
Money, 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 money,
Shane!
money. Oh, hey, there you are. Just the guy I've been looking for.
Yeah, I got a message that you had something important to tell me. So what's the deal?
Well, I've got some very exciting news for you. Effective immediately, you've been traded from Raw to Smackdown.
Traded? What for? Did I get on somebody's bad side or something?
No, exactly the opposite. I represented Raw in this deal. And let me tell you, Teddy Long was willing to give up like half his roster to get you in SmackDown. He's convinced that a superstar like yourself, well, it's exactly what Teddy needs to take SmackDown to the top.
Well, I guess I can't argue with that. And I'd love a chance to wear that World Heavyweight title around my waist.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened sooner rather than later. So on behalf of Raw, let me be the first to congratulate you on a new career as a SmackDown superstar.
Well, on behalf of SmackDown, let me be the first to offer Raw my condolences on officially becoming the #2 brand in sports entertainment. Later, Shane-O.
Things funny, been hood rats to Playboy bunnies. They see the